Alright, in this video we're going to be taking a look at exercise 2-20. This one is in millimeters, so I want to go ahead and start with no template metric. Now this one here has a curved section on the upper right hand side, and I'm going to kind of save that and all of the fillets for the very last thing that I do, just to make my life a little bit easier when it comes to how to actually draw this thing. So I know all of the dimensions leading up to that arc on the top, so I'm just going to start there by drawing a line, and we're going to go straight up 30. To the left we're going to go 60. Then we can go down 110. Over to the right is 155. Then our line comes back up 30. And I'm not sure how far it goes in without doing the math, so what I'm going to do is just project it to right here. And the reason I went to right here is because this is actually the center point for that radius of 50 that I have. So now I can draw a circle with a radius of 50, and that should connect up here. What I can then do is use my trim command, and I want to select this, and the circle as my cutting edges, and now I can hit enter and then click here and here to get that circular section in place. The next thing I want to do is locate my center circle on the top, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, and I'm going to use something called object snap tracking. So I'm going to click on the circle command, and I'm going to hover over the midpoint here until I get a little green crosshair, and it's hard to see, so I'm going to move my cursor away, and just at the very top middle you can see a little green crosshair. Now if I move straight down from that, I can type in 20 and hit enter, and that'll locate my center point. At this point I can hit D, enter for diameter, and type in the 30-degree diameter that object is. Now to get the next cutout in here, I'm going to use another new command called offset. So I'm going to click right here on offset, and my distance of my offset is 20. So I'll type 20 and hit enter, and then I'm going to click on this, and then I can pick either side to offset this to, and I want to offset it to the inside. So that's where this point is going to be. Now on the other side, this is offset 20 also. So I'm going to go back to offset, type 20, enter, and I'm going to offset this piece. Once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and use the line command to connect this endpoint and then this endpoint. I'll then go to my trim command, select the top and bottom lines as my cutting edges, hit enter, and then click to remove the sections that I no longer need. At this point I'm going to locate the circle on the bottom, and I know that it's 15 up from the bottom and 20 in from the side. So what I'm going to do is just draw my circle on this corner point, D-enter to get into the diameter, and they have a diameter of 12. And then I can move this from basically anywhere on the screen, and I'm going to use my X and Y values. So it's 20, 15 to move that into place. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and use a pattern or an array to locate the rest of the holes in this pattern. So when I click right here on array, this is a rectangular array. So I can left click on this, select my object, and hit enter. Now this is going to bring up a new ribbon up at the top. It's a rectangular array, and I need to specify the columns, the total distance between them, how many rows I have. All of the information is going to be in here. So for columns, there are 6 holes. So I can type 6, and then I want them to be spaced 20 apart. And there's actually 7 holes. So let me do 7 columns. So 7 columns spaced 20 apart, and there is only 1 row. So with there being only 1 row, down here in the preview, it should be showing me pretty much exactly what I'm looking for in this particular instance. So if this looks right, I can go ahead and select to close the array. The last thing that I need to do on here is I need to do the fillets, and the fillets pretty much go all the way around this. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to click on fillet, and then I'm going to hit R, enter, so that I can put in the radius, and the radius is 8, so I'm going to type 8, enter, And now I'm just going to left click all of the corner points that make up the fillet. After I do the first one, you'll notice that I'm now out of the fillet command. An easy way to get back in is to just hit the space bar. And since I already set the radius once, it's still in there, so I can just continue clicking the corners. So I'll hit space, click the two corners, hit space, click the two corners, hit space, click on these two corners, and then these corners in here also get filleted. So once you apply all of the fillets to this, and you've got all the holes located, this is essentially exercise 2-20. The main thing that we did in here was, rather than trying to draw this in as we were going around, I just did it as a separate circle. And by saving all of the fillets to the end, I didn't have to worry about trying to get all of these arc sections drawn in as I was actually completing this.